Welcome to AI in Web3 Simply. I'm the host, Ayman Aitani, and I'm joined by my colleagues, Jad and MG. We discuss every week what is happening in AI in Web3 for government entities and businesses. How are you, Jad and MG, today?
We're good, Ayman. How about you?
Good, good, good. What topics do we have for this
Awesome.
week?
Yeah, we have a bit of a nice combo of topics. We're gonna start off with the Rabbit R1. Remember the Rabbit R1, the orange AI
It
device
was being sold. It was being offered for sale.
for sale. The company was being offered for sale. Is
Yes,
that
yes,
the news?
because they did
Wow,
not do well. They raised a bunch load of money. Let me see. Rabbit
wow.
sale, R1 sale.
I mean, I was
Right.
coming in with other types of news about the company not performing well, but I did not know that they were about to sell. I mean, it makes sense that they're about to sell because what I'm about to show shows that it was such a rushed product that a lot of things were overlooked and it went to the market just before they were able to tweak it. So we all know that it once it launched, the performance was not well. It did not catch up with the users. It had bad battery life. There was a conversation about should I own or should I carry this device when I have a mobile device and so on. But a few things also came up recently. One of them is that just last month, a developer found out that he can actually download the Rabbit R1 launcher APK kit on his mobile phone, and that's what he did. So basically, he kind of avoided if you have one device, he avoided buying a device for $200. He launched it on his device, and he used the volume rocker in order to talk to that device. So we have a clip of that in action. So
How
here's
tall is
the
the
guy.
tallest building in the world?
Let me see what I can find. The height of the tallest building in the world is 2,717 feet, which is the height of the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, United Arab Emirates.
So basically that answered the conversation of why wasn't the Rabbit R1 just an app rather than a standalone device? Now it became an app through this leak. Basically, it's an exploit. So this is one thing. Another thing, just last week, so a group of jailbreakers discovered that some API keys were hard encoded into the code base of Rabbit. So these keys basically they give access to third-party services like 11 Labs, which is a text-to-speech provider, or even SendGrid, among others. And once Rabbit was notified, obviously they updated their keys just to save as much reputation that they can. But it just shows you that this product, since its launch, it was such a rushed product. A lot of things were overlooked. And these exploits happened because there was not much quality control happening before the launch of a product like an AI product.
So are we saying that the additional devices that are not phone devices are practically a feature, a feature that could run on a phone?
Yes. I love that you mentioned it because I watched the video. You may have seen that headline. MKBHD said, "Is AI a feature or a product?" Because when last week Apple announced their WWDC, AI was a feature. So they sprinkled AI all over their user interface. You can use it to enhance this. You can use it there. You can use it so on. And with these prototypes that we're seeing that are not even functioning the way that they're promised to function, so far we're seeing AI be a feature more than a product. You can argue that ChatGPT by itself is a product because you're talking to a chatbot. This is a product by itself. But when you're integrating it to apps like Gmail, such as like Gemini, where you have overviews, email overviews, enhancements to text and speech and so on, it becomes a feature. And I think this is the landscape so far because we haven't reached the place that we're ready to get rid of our phones in order to replace it with that device that is solely an AI product by itself. But then another question comes to my mind. Ayman, you have the AI Ray-Ban, the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. These are products, but I mean, I would argue also that AI is a feature in those products. It's not an AI product by itself. Don't you think?
So the question is about, is AI a feature or a product,
Yeah.
especially once you have the the full phone like Apple's phone or Samsung's phone that's fully AI enabled throughout all of the applications, or how any existing application now claims that it has an AI layer on top. I think I have a strong feeling, MG, that once Apple releases its own AI product and it has one iteration on top, so not the main one, but the iteration that comes after that, AI is going to become boring because it's going to be available to us like spell check. So for today, you use spell check. It's built in into any tool you use. It's built into the keyboard of your phone. It's there. You know it. It's there, and it's not magic anymore.
Yeah.
When we reach that stage, I feel AI will become boring. We'll probably change the name of our show. We'll do something differently. It will be just, of course, it's there, like the internet for us is there, or maybe, I think we will reach that stage, driven and pushed by Apple's AI devices, AI-enabled devices, which is primarily the phone, then the iPad, then whatever accessories, the watch.
Yeah, I do see that, and I feel like there's this. We are living in an AI wave, and people are just releasing these products, releasing these features just to hop on the wave while it's still hot. Maybe get a bite of the cake while they still can. But as you said, it might get boring at some point. We might be using it without even knowing that it's AI, because it's basically branded as AI. Is AI just a marketing word for us to sell more products, to sell more features, and so on? I can recall the same thing comes to my mind when I talk about NFTs, for example. NFTs, it was a huge concept when it came out. What do you mean digital collectibles that are on the blockchain, hard coded, and only one of them is I can own only this exact one? I mean, a few years down the line, we can imagine that everything digital that we own might be an NFT, and it will get boring. So that's why I feel like similarly, like NFT wave kind of faded out because the people kind of got bored of NFTs. I'm not sure about AI. AI is definitely for now more useful than NFTs, but we're still seeing that there are a lot of ways that people are making use of AI within their products, within their everyday services. So I mean, it's good for now. It's we're gonna see where it takes us.
Yep. MGs. Yeah. The next topic on our list is Figma adding their first AI product to Figma. So Figma is basically a cloud-based, web-based design tool. And it's very helpful for, I think, early-stage entrepreneurs who want to create an app, create the prototype, a fully functioning prototype with buttons, with integrations, and so on, to take feedback on their product. So now they added their first AI feature, and based on the demo, it looks very nice. So this is not just a basic AI that just creates images that you can't edit it. So they want us to shift they want the user to shift their focus from the UI to the work, to the actual work. So one of the demos was that the prompt is really easy. Please create a prototype for a food restaurant. And the AI also was thinking of integration. So he added buttons for Uber Eats or Careem, or so it's not just a design AI. It really understands the concept of the app you're trying to do. And it's editable, so you can edit the text, you can change the font, you can change the font size. Everything generated by this AI is an element, so everything is editable. I think this will be very helpful for a lot of designers, because designing an app takes time. There is always the features that you can't think of. I forgot to include the FAQs, the privacy policy, and so on. So I think this could be really helpful for designers and mobile app developers.
Do you know if they trained Figma on client data?
Wow.
I didn't get. Yeah. This is a nice question. I didn't get into this much details. What I know for now, it's still in beta mode and available for select people. You can apply on the wait list, but they're choosing their heavy users to test it.
Ayman, were you asking that, or were you stating that? Did you know that
I'm
they do?
asking.
Oh,
No,
you're
no. I'm
asking.
asking.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
asking because I'm trying to think of where are they coming up with all of these mock-ups? Because Figma
Yeah,
is a very popular design tool with early
yeah.
stage and advanced stage businesses. And I'm just assuming. I don't know if their terms and conditions include.
I mean, one would
include
assume that they are. No, I mean they have everything on their platform. It's online. They basically own it at one point. It's basically theirs but ours at the same time. So I would assume that somewhere in the terms, like, we will use this for training, whatever.
What I
Okay,
like
so
about
so,
yes, yes, Shad. What did you
so
say?
for the first Google search, it's stating that the AI powered by third-party data, out-of-the-box AI models, and were not trained using any private or customer data. So,
Wow,
yeah.
I'm sure they did.
The level of trust is high.
Yes,
Yeah.
very high.
So, a couple of things on this. One, Jad, you just said a quick Google search. When are you going to say a quick Perplexity search or OpenAI search? Told me.
I shall.
See, this is an example of how habits do take time to change.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about AI a lot. You use AI as a tool a lot, yet you use Google search as your default still. So that involves a change of habits that we need a while to get to.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Jad, I know you're a big fan of Figma. When you looked at through this tool, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so for me personally, I think Figma already had some mobile app templates, so nothing new there. All you had to do is choose a template, but it will look generic. You just change the colors and so on. So for this one, I think it could make a bit of difference or make it unique for your concept. You can also change the fonts and so on, like use your identity, the identity of your own brand. And on the other side, for early stage entrepreneurs, I think instead of paying a designer or a freelancer or an agency a big sum of money to design your app, you can do it yourself.
So designing an early stage app. So for anyone who has a concept of an app and they want to build out an early stage prototype, there are many tools out there, but I feel there's a gap still. I look at the many tools recently. I was helping out with a government entity. They were looking to support startups, and we evaluated a lot of tools that can help early stage businesses go from an idea to an app implementation stage with a prototype. And there's definitely a gap there there wasn't a single tool to rule them all. So Figma trying today to use AI for taking text prompts where you write the concept of a concept and then it generates designs of your app, including the functionality, including linking them from page to page and potential third-party integrations, is a step towards getting closer to closing the gap for entrepreneurs who have an idea in their head and they want to build it out. We have to see how good the tool is to fulfill what they have in mind, but I can see a lot of work that used to go to freelance designers, agencies, to take that concept and create it, to move away. So it's less business going to them, and it's cheaper for the entrepreneur and faster. Instead of going through months and months of iterations, they can do it much faster and quicker using Figma and equivalent tools.
Yeah, at what point will we will say, I mean, designers, I mean, I can sell that to Figma. I no need to pay a designer. One would assume, Jad, that there's a subscription to this AI feature, or does it come with a standard tier?
I'm sure at a later stage it would be like an add-on because Figma, they have a lot of plugins. So most of them include third-party payments and so on.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it would be this way, but I don't think at first. So it's still in beta. They selected a few people to test it, try it, give them feedback, and so on. So not for now.
All right. We're gonna move on to our next topic, which is Toys R Us trying to make headlines. Hey man, you know Toys R Us, no? You are familiar
Yes,
with
but
it.
why are they in the news?
They are in the news because they wanted to make headlines by using OpenAI Sora to launch the first ever ad. We will take a look. However, what I mean, I see your face so confused. Let's watch the ad, and we will.
Because you used a bunch of words: Toys R Us, OpenAI,
Yes.
Sora, ad.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they are using OpenAI Sora. They wanted to make headlines. They called this leaping ahead of the curve as the first major ad that was created by Sora. However, as with everything, they had a backlash. They saw some criticism. We're going to watch it and get your feedback on it.
Ever wonder how Toys R Us and Jeffrey the Giraffe came to be? The son of a bike shop owner, Charles Lazarus, had a vision that would go on to change toy stores forever.
The greatest toy store there is. I don't wanna grow up, 'cause maybe if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us.
Toys R Us was the dream of Charles Lazarus. May all of your dreams come true too.
So people were complaining that this was done with AI.
No, they had some complaints, but basically, let me tell you some background. So this was a tribute, as you saw, to their founder Charles, and they wanted to make it like a headline thing by using the cutting edge technology. This was their marketing behind the idea. But the feedback that they got is that some people said that it looks like a weird dream, where you see a different version of the kid every time you look at their face. The Avengers director Joe Russo said it effing sucks. Others said that other conventional video tools can produce much better outcome without even using as much computational power as Sora did. So, I mean, a bit of a harsh criticism, but at first attempt, we got to give it to OpenAI. I mean, creating this app, maybe, I'm not sure how many lines of code that were, not lines of code, lines of prompt were put into creating this video montage. But it portrays the idea of what, there's a storyline. I get the idea. There's a tribute to the founder. I mean, why not?
We will get used to seeing ads online or on TV that are generated by AI. Toys R Us are getting unnecessary heat on this because they're a large brand and a recognizable name. But the video that they created, my comment on it is it's just a little bit slow and long. It could have been much slower on this to make it. You could have said the same thing and easily half the time. But that storytelling and theme, and it has nothing to do with AI on this. We'll get used to seeing that anyway. Anyway, we already have videos on that we see on Instagram, on so on, and even on TV that are using stock footage, video, and so on. We accept it and we move on. So we will get used to seeing a lot of this done. Second. The logo Toys R Us was very well was spelled clearly, and a lot of the AI tools have difficulty today writing text. So I'm pretty sure they've used something else. AI generated, and they've added that as a layer on top to make sure that there are no spelling issues, and also that the brand logo and the name are quite clear.
Yeah. The wording that they use, exactly, Eamon. The wording that they use is that it was mostly created using Sora. So now I understand where the bit part comes into play, the editing for the words and the branding, the headlines, and so on. Jad, what are your thoughts on the ad?
Just like you said, it looks like a dream, like a weird one, but yeah, everyone will be using AI. So we already use stock footage. At some point, AI will be able to give us realistic videos, just like the stock footage ones. So yeah, why not? I don't see a reason for why big brands can't use AI to create ads.
Yeah, 100%. Any of you have any idea about like the feedback mentioned computational power? Like, does this really use much computational power to produce like a minute-long video? Other than, I mean, we know we communicate daily with ChatGPT. That alone uses a lot of computational power on their servers. But I mean, is that a point to be made when criticizing the video?
So the criticism was what? That the
Was
video was
conventional?
horrible and it.
Yeah, I mean, conventional tools would have done a better job creating this video without even taking as much computational power like Sora did.
Computational power is not a problem for. Computational is not a problem for people who are not, for those who are complaining. And so, because usually when you create this, it's one large workstation that you edit locally and you take care of the video editing that you want to do. Video is a problem for the either people paying for it or for the people hosting that technology and creating that technology. But it's not for the users. It's not for the editor. It's not their issue there. But this is Sora. Sora is still in closed beta. It's a few months old, and they already have a product that a brand is a global brand is using and airing on channels that we use. So I think we're in a solid step.
Yeah, 100%.
And for the last topic of today, during the last session, we were talking about AI officers. I asked like, what's a chief AI officer gonna do for like the government department that handles lawsuits? So now it's clear because Brazil, the government is paying OpenAI and Microsoft too to help them with their court laws and so on. So every year they don't have enough time. They have a lot of work on their plate. They lose $18 billion. So instead of doing that, they just decided to hire OpenAI, pay them, and use AI to identify which lawsuits are worth working on and which is the right way to approach it. So instead of hiring people, they hired AI. Ayman already created a video about it, so let me share it and we'll discuss it more.
Billions of dollars a year just because you missed a deadline. That is the reality for the Brazilian government. People sue the government, and if the government loses, it pays the compensation. But here's the catch. The government has a limited time to appeal, and it is swamped with lawsuits. So they end up paying $18 billion per year because they cannot appeal in time. In the same way you personally have 30 days to return a product you bought online, the government has a window to dispute the claims. Miss it, and they pay up. Now Brazil is turning to AI. They are paying ChatGPT and Microsoft to study lawsuits and recommend appeals. AI helps the government handle more legal cases without hiring more staff. Human employees still process the lawsuits, but AI makes sure they focus on the right ones. Could this work in your country?
Why is this specific to Brazil? Is there a law that they have for lawsuits that users are exploiting?
When I first read the article about Brazil, the Brazilian government using AI to counter lawsuits and to save money, it's like, wait, why are they worrying about that? And I looked more into the legal terms and I asked ChatGPT for help, and the clarity was that many people sue the government for one reason or another, and then sometimes the government loses, sometimes it wins. So when they lose, they have a short window to make the appeal, and then and I'm assuming if it's very bureaucratic and there are so many lawsuits and there's a process and so on, that within that window they don't have enough time to do so without adding more staff, and hiring a government is not straightforward.
Yeah.
So that's why so the government in Brazil wants to rely on AI to help go through that. So I'm assuming what will happen is they feed the model with all of the backlog of lawsuits that they've lost. They feed it with the law, and they feed it also past cases, historical cases that they've won or lost or whatever it is. And they'll start to have prompts to surface. So the first layer will be to surface which ones have have topics that are not difficult to analyze, not difficult to win or to reappeal. They'll have ones that are sorted by date, size, difficulty. They'll have prompts that would look at what are certain. There are many cases where they lose because there's a certain type of evidence that was not there. So those are easy to find and identify. So, but at the end, you're going to have humans who are lawyers who would actually go through all of the information.
Yeah. So basically, Brazil is the second public government. Basically second government to publicly embrace AI after the UAE. Is that my understanding?
There are governments globally that are using AI, and use cases. Finding the right use case is where the success will lie. So, are you going to be using a use case that is practical to implement? That you have enough data, that you can do it within your jurisdiction and your requirement, that you have the right staffing to handle, that you won't upset your existing staff or others in the government when you run it. So finding the right AI use case for a government entity is a critical part for the success of AI implementation.
Yeah.
And that's it from us for today. We always look for topics related to government and business and how AI and Web3 is impacting them. Thank you for joining us here today. And we will hope to see you again next week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Dubai time.